That's your paradise? Birds of Paradise? That's
Yes,
nightmare fuel.
what do
That's
you
like
mean,
Alfred
a full-
Hitchcock.
You're taking that game a little bit more seriously.
I'm going to be the guy to tangent off of, even though I'm supposed to keep us on track here. Welcome to WWB Ward Wide Broadcast. This is episode 53, and we are starting season 3 of WWB, Billy. Our 1 year kicked off at the end of season 2. I was trying to make it correlate with when, like the releases of the gens are, but this gen, unfortunately, is taking a little bit too long. So, you know what? I was like, we're starting our season 3 a little earlier than the release. We're only a week away.
Hey.
So, you know what? It wasn't too, it's
Hey,
not too bad.
they said mid-February,
Yeah.
and our 52nd episode was February 12th.
Mm-hmm.
You know what? We were on time. That's
Exactly. So you know what we're calling this? So it's season 3 of WWB. We're starting it off right. We'll start the season off with the release of Gen 3. So I think everybody will be pretty hyped about that. You know what I mean? It'll be a good moment to be like, oh yeah, this is a good turning point for Ward in a new season. So I kind of like lining it all up that way. But speaking of the release, we have the release parties. They're only this weekend. I mean, as of recording, they're like 4 days away. So it's coming up quick. And again, there's a couple locations. If you're looking to get into one of these release parties, there's one in Curious Crow in Lexington, Minnesota, which is like right outside of Minneapolis, very close. That one, they're going to be doing an Average Joe tournament that is also going to be with the Gen 3 cards. So not only Gen 1 and Gen 2, but you're going to have Gen 3 cards as well. So the first Average Joe tournament that's going to be thrown on with Gen 3 cards. So if that's something you're into and you're looking to get into it, definitely head over to the Curious Crow. Obviously, if you're in the area, go to that release party. At all the release parties, there is a special pack that's going to have the signature of all the Ward staff. So if you attend, you have a chance to potentially get that pack from each of the different locations. So there will be 3 at each of the locations, and then there's also going to be a special one. If you go back to episode 50, where we had Marty on, one of the creators of Ward, he did a giveaway to a lucky person all around the United States or anywhere, I guess, if they put Big Fur Coat in the chat. In maybe a fun way, make sure you make fun of Marty while you're doing it, because that's how we always do it on here. But then there's a chance that whoever they decide to pick will get another signed Gen 3 pack. So all these packs are Gen 3, but they're gonna have the signature of all the creators on them. And so again, Curious Crow in Lexington, Minnesota. Then we have Iron
Range Sports Cards.
Iron
You
Range
never get it
Sports
right.
Store. Dude, it is a mouthful. Let me tell you.
Sports cards.
It's a lot. Iron Range
Come on.
Sports Cards in Hibbing, Minnesota.
There you
This is where the game was created. This is one of their bigger stores too. Like I said, that I'm assuming was probably one of the first stores that they kind of got into the scene when it came to Ward. And Joe and Q will be there. And they will be throwing on an event. It'll also move to another location, to the Iron House. So I guess a couple little venues. But again, if you're in the Hibbing area, and you want to go there, that's the watch party starts there too. I don't know if they're throwing on a tournament there at all. I guess we'll have to see. No, I don't think so.
Just ripping packs.
Yeah, they're just gonna be ripping packs and getting to talk to Joe and Q. So if you wanna head over there, you can head over there. Otherwise, at Globe News in Superior, Wisconsin is where we will be. WWB will be throwing on our live stream, so we'll have me, Billy, and Tyler all there. We're all gonna be cracking boxes, hanging out with Marty. Marty will be the one at Globe News. John, the owner of the store, he's throwing on the whole event, and they're having catering and a bunch of things. So if you want to see us and you want food and you want to see Marty in his Big Fur Coat, because I'm sure that's what he'll be bringing, definitely come over to Globe News. And again, there's a tournament that's going on there too. It's just going to be a Swiss crack pack with the Gen 3 cards. So that'll be a pretty exciting tournament too. So if you're looking to get into that and you're in that area, or you just want to fly up and travel if you've already, booked your plans and things, yeah, Billy, there will be someone will fly out. I'm calling it there. That's my irresponsible take. Somebody will fly out to come to the release
5
party.
minutes in.
But anyway, again, so both of those locations that I just brought up, though, they also will have a pack that is signed by all the creators. So for everybody who shows up to those locations, you have a chance to get those packs. For us to
Got a comment.
Tyler on the last episode also said that there's a pretty big giveaway that WWB we are doing too. So if you make it out or you're on the live stream, make sure to watch on the live stream because you got a chance to get a pretty big prize. Other than that, it all starts at noon CST.
Central.
Yep, Central time. So again, all the stores, because I know that I want to shout out in Georgia, Clayton, Georgia is where Big Top Game is. They're also doing a release party. So there's a couple other locations that have reached out and are also doing them. Again, some of those locations you're not going to get that that giveaway pack, but hey, still promoting Ward in any way you can. But again, all that stuff is starting at noon CST, so make it out to all those locations. After that, we also have the online tournament that I will be throwing. That was on February 21st. Sorry, is the release party. So that's this Saturday, and then the Sunday following is our online WWB Frostworm Winter Cup, which again is an online on Untapped, an event. It is unranked. I do need to make sure I say that so that it doesn't affect your rankings, unfortunately, because I wanted to make it a Gen 3 only, and to make it a ranked, you have to have the cards, physical copies. That's just what the Ward staff requires of you, is that you've paid some money and to get on the rankings, where it's like, obviously it makes a lot of sense, but we want people to get to play the Gen 3 cards right as they come out. I mean, we're trying to make this the hypest tournament we can. So if anybody wants to enter or to register, you just have to send, your name so we can track you. $15, it's a fee basically to enter. 10 goes to the prize pool. 5 just goes to participating in the tournament. So again, you get a chance to win a pretty big prize pool too. And then obviously you just have to send a screenshot of your untapped deck if you've made one to play in the tournament, and that's all you need. And then with that, then you guys will be able to join in on the fun. I'm sure Billy will probably join in on that tournament and play with you guys online too. And again, Gen 3 only. You're going to have access to the full Gen 3 card library. So, whatever your thoughts desire, whatever deck, whatever cards you've been staring at for these last couple months now, you should just get them all together, make those decks that you want to play, and join into the tournament, because we'll be looking forward to that for sure. All right, Billy, there we go. We did all the plugs, all the things.
Hey.
So yeah, again, just make sure you make it out to the releases, and if you can't, watch the live stream, because we would love to have you guys and show you what we're cracking at Globe News. All right, Billy, but we thought we'd do a fun thing for this episode. We thought we would make our own tier list. And so what tier list are we making? We're going to make our tier list of legendary cards in Ward, from basically what we think are probably like not that great of legendary cards, all the way up to what are basically the best legendary cards, that at least in our opinion. So Billy, are you excited to talk about why we love our legendaries so much?
Yeah, dog.
Yeah,
I like talking about cards. So
too bad we don't have Tyler on here, because I mean he's kind of the legendary guy. I mean when he got into the game, he was always just legendaries. I just want the legendaries, and so. But that's okay.
Not only is he the legendary guy, but he also has legendary crash outs. So I'm sure we'll be hearing some opinions from him on the next episode.
Yes, for sure. I'm sure on the next episode. Yeah, he was unfortunately not able to make it to this one, but I'm sure if he's on the next one, he'll definitely laugh at our list a little bit. So, but hey, that's all the fun, right? so we're planning on making. We have our own tier list, and then together we're gonna make a tier list for WWB. And then after that, we're gonna post it. And then if you're watching this video, I would like you guys not only go into the comments and stuff and talk about our list, but also maybe Billy will make a link and you can make your own legendary tier list. So you can tell us what you think is stronger or better or even weaker, or just fun cards that you like to play with that are legendaries. Yeah, and so without further ado, we will start with Billy's tier list. So Billy,
All
let's
right,
go.
you'll see it pop up on the side or
Yep,
somewhere
I have
here.
it.
Yeah,
I have it
yeah.
popped up. It's actually covering both of us. So you know what? We're no longer on this.
Sick.
We're no longer front and center. Your list is. So shoot
All
shoot
right.
away. Maybe.
So I'll give an outline, and then Harry can tell me why I'm wrong. Okay, so I did a traditional tier list, S through F tier, with F being the worst possible legendaries in the game, and the S tier being the best possible legendaries in the game, and everything in between. If you'll notice, there's Gen 3 in here. So we've got Gen 1, 2, and 3 in here. So that's Harry reminded me I might have missed one or two, but most of them are on this list. I'll talk through my methodology real quick, and then we'll just go through the cards, and Harry can tell me that's a genius take or that's the worst take I've ever had. S tier, basically staples and decks, basically fits in every deck almost all the time. It is really, really good, basically in every deck. A tier, also really good in every deck, although just not as good as S tier. I think it's pretty self-explanatory. Can basically use in any deck.
Right.
B tier, also very good, but you do kind of have to either play them at the right time or they're a little bit conditional. So, like for example, Blood of the Bat, really really good if you put it on like 100, 120, 150 HP AL12 creature, but probably not that great if you put on Assassin. So you got to play it at the right time.
Right.
Shark deck, same, or Perfect Shark, same thing. Really good if it's in Sharks and if you play it with multiple Sharks to stack it. C tier, I would just say this is where we start to get into the super niche, where it's like it's good, but that's it. That's actually it's good, but and so you could say like, oh, it's good, but it has like kind of a glaring downside. Still very playable, still pretty good if you put it in your deck, but just not the best. D tier, this is where we start getting to the I really wish I didn't put this on my deck, or I really wish I had other cards to put in it. And then F tier is the worst. I have strong opinions about some of them, and others I didn't really like it that much. I will put my caveat here that basically any card in any tier I could be convinced can go up or down a tier, except like some of the F tier and some of the S tier. So, all right, let's take it away. Harry, should we start at the top or should we start at the bottom?
I mean, I like to go from we could probably do the F tier because I have a lot of questions for you about your F tier list. So let's start there.
Okay,
right?
cool. F tier, I've got Sounds from the Grave, the Old God, Giga, the Ancient One, Absolute Terror, Captain Ward, my boy,
Yeah, jeez.
Apocalypse,
Hating
Jerry,
the Ward
and
man
Close
so
Encounters.
hating the Ward man
All
so
right,
much.
so
All right, I see.
yeah. Honestly, Sounds from the Grave is my reaction off of what they changed it to. Is it actually F tier? Maybe, but I certainly think it is.
Yeah, that one
And
I'm
then the
fine
other
with.
cards are basically just AL12s that I can't. Oh, you're fine with that one. Okay.
Yeah, I'm fine with that
The
one. That one.
AL12s that I can't play. Yeah,
Yeah. All
that's
right.
fine. I
Here,
have
how
opinions
about
on
I?
it. All
How
right.
about I?
Well, what's your questions, Harry?
Yeah, how
Shoot.
about I just fire away and just start picking away at it, and then yeah, you can defend what card you think. Okay, so first off,
Yeah, yeah.
I think Absolute Terror. I honestly think that like besides Sounds from the Grave, I don't think any other Magic legendary really deserves to be an F tier. Um, I kind of like what you did for the top, like S tier and A tier. It's like, oh, this card is fit in every deck. I really do think that Magic cards at the end of the day, for at least where we're at with Ward, I feel like they can always fit in a deck, if that makes sense. So I guess I push back a little bit
Yeah.
on like Absolute Terror and Apocalypse, because I just think that again it's like they can always be replaced for just like a creature or something, you know what I mean? So it's like why do you feel
Yeah.
like Absolute Terror, like, and then maybe just do Apocalypse and then the Stranger, I can't even remember what that name of that card.
Close Encounters.
Close Encounters. Yeah.
Okay, I hear you. That's valid. Magic cards definitely have more weight because you can use them basically at any time.
Hmm.
My argument for Absolute Terror is that it's only 10 HP damage, and you have to wait several turn cycles to get anything useful out of it that's not like already another card. So,
Hmm.
like in my opinion, if I play Absolute Terror on my turn, and then on your turn you draw a card, you take 10 damage, and then you immediately destroy it, that's really not any better than Ignite. It's the same actually. So
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, if you can't get rid of it, it's gonna eat away at you. I get it. Also, I hate. Well, I don't hate the art, but the art's creepy, so that automatically dumps it in F tier. So, like,
Okay.
if I was a D tier, I would put in F tier because of the art, not because I don't think the art's bad. I just it's creepy. Apocalypse, it is so niche beyond belief, and it's literally just a
Yeah.
let's roll for the lulls. So,
That's fair.
and like I play with it, like, but I play with it because it's fun, not because it's good. So now, what I will, so if you wanted to put those in like D tier, fine, whatever.
Yeah.
Close
That's fine.
encounters, though, boy, listen, I'm really excited for Gen 3, and you'll see I put a lot of Gen 3 cards high. I think this is my crash out is I'm not impressed by this card one bit. I don't think it's that good. I think 3 turn cycles for a mediocre effect is just terrible. So I'm gonna be disappointed if I pull it. So if someone else wants it, I'll happily trade it. But
Okay. All right. Wait. This is where I try
I
to
don't think it's that good.
this is where I try to convince you now, Billy. I'm gonna convince you on this card. Ready? Okay. So imagine you have a
Yeah, go
card
ahead.
where you open up in your starting hand. It's a legendary, right? And instead of worrying about if
Yeah.
you need to play it at a specific time, you can just play this card every time, all the time, no matter what. Okay? And so it's like, all right,
What do you mean? What do you mean by
this
that?
is
What
where
do you
I
mean by
think
that?
I'll continue, but this is where I think the power of this card is. This card, when it gets destroyed, goes back to your deck, so you don't lose any value really from this card. It also is still
In 3 turn cycles.
yes, in 3 turn cycles, but still, I think if I open up with this card in my hand, my starting hand, I'm gonna play this card. If I draw into this card at any point, the stats are still good. I'm just probably gonna play this card, and just if you want to have an answer to
Yeah.
it, if you want to negate it, fine, negate it. It's like, all right, that happens, but that's still you using a card on this card. Otherwise, I think this card by itself usually will make your creature that you have out, especially like these lower AL cards, uh, pretty strong. Like it makes them probably stronger than whatever the card your opponent starts out with most often. And so I think again, in my mind, this is I can just keep playing this card at any point, and I just play it, play it, play it, and then it's like, okay, if you destroy it, it's not totally gone. You're right. I don't like 3 turn cycles. I really do think if there's anything that's probably like the saddest part about this card is that it takes 3 turn cycles to get back into your deck. But again, it is like the scare, or it's like Junk Scarecrow and Mysterious Door kind of effect, which I do think is kind of a unique effect in the game because it's like it kind of sits in like this weird limbo where it can't really be like touched. But that's kind of my thought on it. I think it is just kind of like you get to play this card, and like your opponent just either responds to it or just lets you kind of have like a cool buff, and it's like, yeah, fine, blow up the board. Or if I blow up the board at a certain point, it doesn't feel bad to destroy that card.
I think my main beef with the card is that it has to be destroyed to get the effect. Now, if you made it go back after 3 turn cycles, whenever it goes to the cemetery, I would think it's actually a legendary card. Because like that puts it into the slot in the deck where it's like, oh crap, I drew 9 cards because I didn't
Mm-hmm.
play in my last turn, and now I drew my ninth card and I have to discard something. Well, if it was go to this, like it would return to the deck after being sent to cemetery, that's like the auto card to throw in there.
See,
Now that's like an actual safe play.
that's fair, but I also think of it. Your argument. I'm going to take it. I'm going to flip it around. Now imagine think how many times you have legendary good cards that you're just like, oh, I want to hold on to them, and those are usually the cards that end up making you like have to discard cards because you just have such a good hand of cards. But if you have this card in your hand, now you can just play it and not feel like you have to hold on to 8 cards. It's like one of those cards where it doesn't feel terrible
That's
to just
yeah.
play. And so it's
Okay,
like I'm gonna kind of like
that's fair.
use like your thought process with like discarding. It's like, oh yeah, if I have a handful of cards, like here, at least I can buff up my creature and I don't have to actually just fully discard a card. So it's like, and if my opponent responds to it, again, it's just one of those things where it's like, okay, if they destroy it, it's not totally gone, but if they have a negate, it's like, well, they still have to use a negate on this card. So I don't know. I think it.
I guess I should add one more caveat to my list. I'm talking about strictly tournament play. In casual play, I think close encounter is probably a lot of fun and really good. So,
Yeah, I think
but in
the
like
tier list
tournament
really
play, I'm
falls.
like, I don't know, man.
Yeah. Sorry, I don't want to cut you off, but I think the tier list definitely kind of falls apart if you like don't make it towards like competitive play. Because again, it's like this is usually what I would say is like ranks high. Because like you said, even some of these cards at the top, it's like okay, yeah, like if you don't have a great deck, it's like yeah, some of those cards even at the top would not be great if you know what I mean. Like you have to know how to make them great cards.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
it's like yeah, I can
yeah,
agree with
sure.
that with you, but
Uh,
it's okay. Like I
it,
said, hey, I'm okay putting it in F tier. I mean, obviously, I disagree a little bit, but like, I can understand where you're coming from. I think the 3 turn cycles really hinders the card because, yeah, I think you can miss a lot of windows where it's like, oh yeah, I might want this card to come back. You know, I think 3 turn cycles is quite a bit. It's weird where usually 3 turn cycles like feels really bad because of the effect that's on the field, but it's like if it's not on the field, I feel like 3 turn cycles also feels really bad because you're just like, I really wish I could
yeah,
get that back a little quicker than 3 turn cycles.
yeah, sure.
But
I
yeah.
will give one plus to the card. I love the art because it's basically Visitor from Beyond, but a different card. So I
Yeah,
like
no.
reusing the same like characters that have been made in the art into other cards. So I like that a lot.
Right.
So I'll give it that.
I like that too. All right.
All right,
Move
that
on
we
to your.
tackled F tier. Let's go D tier.
Well,
All
wait,
right,
wait,
so
wait.
I
One more
said D.
shout out. Wait, one more shout out in your F tier.
All
I'm
right,
fine with all your AL12 creatures, but why is Jerry? You cannot put my man in F tier. He's not that bad. Come on.
Jerry's being punished for his war crimes, so
Oh
he's
my.
straight to
All
F
right.
tier.
When we get
I
to
can't
my
have
list.
him. I can't have him. Yeah, I can't have him terrorizing the other tiers. So
All right. Fine, but yeah, no. When we talk about Jerry on my list, we will have an actual debate. But I don't think he belongs in F tier. That's
all right,
my
fine.
opinion.
All right, well that's
All right,
fine.
all right. Move up to D tier.
All right, D tier. What did I say? I said these are. I wish I didn't have them, but they're substitutes for other better cards. Okay.
Yeah.
Uh, honestly, you could kind of put C and D tier in the same kind of like grouping, but C is the better version of D tier. So like D tier is just I didn't know where to put them, and I didn't think they were that great, so I just put them there.
Gotcha.
I think it just tends to be a lot of the cards I don't play with. The only exception, of course, like I don't know the Gen 3 cards. I'm like
Yeah,
assuming.
that was
Like
gonna be
I'm
a
just
big
looking at
question
them
I
based
had.
on my opinion.
Yeah, that was a big question I
Yeah.
was gonna have. How did you decide to put those Gen 3 cards in this tier? I guess is kind of the big one.
Just based on how I look at and feel about them and feel how they're going to play. One of the reasons I think it's fun to do this is that before we play Gen 3 is that we can come back in like a month or two and be like, okay, now that like, wow, I was so wrong about Frostworms. I put that in D tier. Maybe that's an A tier card. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? So
definitely got to laugh about it for sure. Yeah, no, I think we'll have differing opinions on frostworms, but for most part,
something funny.
yeah, no,
Go
for
ahead.
oh, I was just gonna say for most part, I mean, I'm looking at these. I think they all make sense to be in this tier. Like I'm trying to think. I don't know. I guess I rate bounce. Like you have terrifying roar in here. That's maybe the one card where I'm like like I don't know. I just think any bounce card just is very strong. It's like a very powerful card to like basically get rid of most of this stuff, you know. So it's like I don't know. It's hard in my head. I put those cards a little higher just because of the amount of like pressure they could put on your opponent. But yeah, other
Sure.
than that, I think
That's a fair take.
yeah. Other than that, I think it's not bad. Some of the creatures in here, I just think I like them a lot, and I think they might move up a little more. But yeah, I think you did a pretty good job with these
Yeah.
tiers. I don't really have too many things to talk about.
Casey actually messaged me about. I didn't share this with him, but like he was just messaging me out of the blue. It was like, "Is Hive Queen just a better Cosmic Demon?" I'm like, well, Cosmic Demon hits harder. He was like, "Yeah, but Hive Queen's faster. I would trade 6 speed for an extra for one less attack die and +1 modifier." I'm like, "Yeah, probably." And I have like Hive Queen at the end and Cosmic Demon at the beginning of next tier. They're so close. Like I said, like a lot of these
Yeah.
are like really really close together. They're all really good cards. It's
Hey,
just where do I rank them?
your argument has to be Hive Queen bug spray can mess up Hive Queen. double damage besides what
That's true. Yeah,
like
there's no double
well,
damage to Cosmic.
evolved Dino, but it's just like okay, like I don't think Cosmic
That's a
Demon's a big
creature.
enough problem where you're like I need an evolved Dino. Like I don't know, you know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Also, I like the art. I like the art of Cosmic Demon better. So
Yeah, I really
there's
do
your
like his
argument.
art as well.
Also, it's my list.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
exactly. But no, I think you're right. They kind of fit all in this. Like they could easily both be DC, right? It's like there's not like there's much difference. One that I will.
No, I played a.
Oh, you
Go
go.
ahead.
No, you say it. What?
I played Eric the other day with a Forgotten One deck, and I got it up to like 96 multiplier, and then after I won, and then after the game he was like, "Golly, Forgotten One is so good," and I was like, "I don't really like it." And he's like, "Well, how could you not like it? It's got up to 96," and I was like, "Yeah." I don't know. I don't like it. I think it's too hard to do. Like if it works, it works, but like most time it doesn't.
Well,
So
it's just kind
he
of
just
interesting.
thinks he probably thinks that's an A tier card.
Yeah, well, like you said, I mean, I just think it's one of those things where it's like it's cool, but it just takes way too much setup. Where it's just like, yeah, and it's an
Yeah,
AL12.
exactly.
I'm very interested with there's that Azulian or whatever it's like
Arzulian, yeah.
Arzulian. It's like just like a common, and I think it basically does the exact same thing as this guy, but it's like it only takes one sack to bring it out, and I think that card, like
Yeah.
anytime you're making it like less to bring to like make it work, I think those cards are going to be even scarier when it comes to like speed buffs, because like yeah, I agree with you. It's quite a bit to bring out the Forgotten One. But yeah, it seems like a lot of your creatures are down on the AL12s. I mean, one of the ones that I'm a little surprised about is Vampire Lord. I don't know. I feel like he kind of fits in an interesting category. I mean, obviously, if you put it into like, oh, backstab exists or these things, then it's like, oh yeah, then he feels bad. But I think overall, he's probably one of the stronger like AL11 like creatures. So that one's a little interesting to me. But
Yeah, sure. I mean, I don't know if I have any other AL11s higher than him. So um, he's got a cool ability. Sometimes I think the game is too fast, and or you just are able to negate his ability. So
yeah, well, I think that, and then I also think this the biggest thing about him too is like it's really hard to fit certain creatures into his decks just because you want to be like, well, if I ever need to like use them as a healer, right? It's like, and so I feel like he also gets in a weird spot where it's
exactly.
like you can't really always like build the deck for like get all the card like creatures and stuff you need in the deck because you have to like think about the whole like, oh, if I need a sack for HP kind of mechanic. So yeah, I agree with you. All right, let's move up to your B tier.
C tier. Well, did we do C tier?
Well, you did like C, D. I don't know. Like I thought you kind of wanted to just kind of did them together, but I didn't know if there was really much.
That's
different.
fine. I mean,
there wasn't really.
there's nothing.
Yeah.
There's nothing crazy in
You
C
just said these
tier.
are like kind of like.
I showed
niche.
Erica this list.
Sorry.
Yeah, they're niche. Like it works. But you have to like set it up right.
Mm-hmm.
Like Steam Rex makes sense.
Yeah.
Vampire Lord, you had to make the deck around it. Dawn of the Chickens, same thing. They're all Deer Crow, Gnome Mageddon, or Gnome Theon. I'm sorry.
No.
Things.
Billy, we're calling it Gnomageddon all the time now. I don't care. I don't care what its actual name is. I'm gonna call that card Gnomageddon every time I play it. I don't care.
I probably will too. What's funny is I showed Erica this list and she was like, "Wow, like Bait just kind of like sticks out. Like its art is so bright, like in that blue, like dark blue
with the dark background. Yeah,
like
not
it kind of does.
That. It's like Apocalypse kind of does that,
And
but
she was like,
Apocalypse just takes up so much of the picture, right? It's like the blowing up of the
Apocalypse. I should move up Apocalypse just because the art is like one of the best in the game.
Okay,
we'll go to B tier.
I think the art just carries that one so much. Yeah, I love the art of Apocalypse.
It carries it so hard.
Same with like chickens. Right. Like I feel like you put chickens up in C just because of the art. Like the art is just I like that art a lot. Anyway.
Yeah, pretty much.
But anyway, what were we saying? Oh yeah.
All right,
so
B tier.
B tier. Yep.
All right, this is where I feel like a lot of these cards, and like I don't know for Gen 3, this is how I feel about them. I feel like a lot of these are like actually like super playable. So like Mimic Chest, I know you and I like kind of talked about that. Blood of the Back, Cosmic Negation, Magic Steel, Phoenix Armor, Perfect Shark, Last Hope Hero, Soul Eater, Orc Champion, Ashen Knight, Biodino, Enlightened Soul, and Friend Like You. Those last those last couple like Gen 3 cards, I think those are just really strong legendaries. I don't know exactly where they'll fall, but they all feel like they could be super impactful. You
Yeah.
know, like Enlightened Soul is just huge for sacks. Biodona can be insane. Ashen Knight's got like that Dark Souls like super effect. Orc Champion just feels like crazy if you're playing Orc deck. Soul Eater is like the perfect answer to limited summons. Last Hope Heroes really good if you're playing high base stats. So I don't know. They're all really good.
Can you? Okay,
And then of
I
course the other.
hold on.
Go
Can I
ahead.
ask? Okay, so Phoenix armor. Can you explain to me why Phoenix armor deserves to like be this high up? I guess I'm kind of curious.
Because I think people sleep on Phoenix Armor. That's
Okay.
why. I think it's actually super good. I I've been playing around with it, and like it's maybe okay. I could be convinced it goes to C tier, but I like
Okay.
it a lot. It's especially if you're playing like a higher HP creature deck, which I mean
Hmm.
to I'm accounting Gen 3 for this, and
Yeah.
Gen 3 is really going to push like the AL12 bar like a lot higher, which means I think Phoenix Armor gets a lot more value.
Yeah,
So,
I will say with my list
like
too,
for
I kind of
example,
did this. I kind of did that same thing of like, okay, with Gen 3 included, it's like how much higher up do these cards go? And I can kind of understand
yeah,
your logic with that too. Of like, yeah,
I
higher
mean,
up.
shoot, like Hive Queen, 130 HP. If you slap this on it like when it's below 40,
Hmm.
then you're just gonna go right back up to what 65. That's
Right.
crazy. That's a lot of HP to get through. So you essentially had to battle through 195
Hmm.
to kill it, and it's kind of a hard. It's got a big hit. So
Yeah.
I don't know. I like it a lot. I think there's a lot of things you can do with it.
Okay. Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, I mean, there's cards because I know like your other tiers. I mean, obviously you kind of said with like S and A, it's like, oh, you always like these cards, like you kind of always can just put in the deck. I really think Magic Steel really this low for you? I'm surprised. I'm like, I feel like you would put it
You know,
higher up
yeah, I
for
do.
sure.
I do like Magic Steel a lot, and if you play it right, it is devastating. But
Hmm.
there's one kicker on Magic Steel that has got me like just keeping it anchored in B tier, and it's the fact that you can't actually negate with it. You can only steal.
Hmm.
So, and it's like if you read the extended description, like it kind of talks about that. And so, like an example of that would be um, if you like, for example, if you play Cosmic Negation, and I don't want that to go off, but I
Yeah.
don't have a negate card. I only have Magic Steal. I can only Magic Steal it.
Hmm.
If I Magic Steal it, it goes off and does the same exact thing. So it's a negate, but not really. So it's like you're
Yeah.
trading off the ability to now you can negate other negates because you could
Right. I
steal
was
the
about to say
negate.
all flash cards
But
for the most part you can just kind of stop. Yeah, but I get what
yeah,
you're saying.
but if yeah, if they play a field card, you can't stop field cards. And I
Right.
think field cards, with the exception of Flame of the Infinite, because you could steal that for you. But if they affect all players, you can't stop them with Magic Steal. And I think there's a lot of good ones out there. So that's my
Yeah.
reasoning.
No, that's okay. That's fair. I just think it's one of these cards that it's like I think most decks though it's like you don't feel bad having it because I just know that it's like oh yeah there's a lot of good cards that are like I want to take that card from you and so it's like I don't know I get what you're saying
For
I can
sure.
understand what you're I can definitely see why you put it like lower it's like it doesn't always just have like the best value to it so makes some
You
sense.
know, when I played first edition, Gen 1 first edition, when I first got played, everyone played it as if it negated also. We were playing it wrong.
Hmm.
And if it also negated, like it would be like almost S tier. But
Yeah, if you could
you
choose to
take
have
that
to
one
play.
thing away
Yeah.
and you play it correctly, and it's like, maybe it's not like that busted. Like it's just good.
Hmm.
And that's also one of my supporting arguments of why I think it should come off the limited list. Am I going to play with three in my deck? No. But like, I don't really see why it needs to be limited at this point.
Yeah, that's fair. Obviously the Gen, like you said, Gen 3 Magic, I don't know how crazy it's gonna be. I do think the two cards, the Gen 3 ones that you put up here for at least Magic cards, I think are definitely probably gonna be somewhere at the higher end of the of ward cards, if I had to guess for Gen 3 and just like in general. So I don't really have a problem with
Yeah.
those. I have to come at you though. Blood of the Bat
Come at me.
has not been used in
Dude,
any tournament or like any well, I don't want to say it hasn't been used in any tournament deck, but it hasn't been like you know what I mean, utilized
Yeah,
well in tournament decks. And
yeah,
okay,
yeah,
I
yeah,
know this
yeah.
is
I
your
hear you.
list, but it's like, dude, you're gonna have to do a lot of convincing on why this
Let
specific
me
card needs to be up here. Like,
remember. Okay,
come on.
so actually, the first five Sans Magic Steel are actually all upped because we're getting AL12 support.
Okay.
Mimic Chest having their HP because
Yeah.
people are going to be player bigger boys. Blood of the Bat because you're going to be healing a lot more. You'll be able to bring your health back up and doing a
Okay.
lot more damage.
Okay.
Cosmic Negation because you're going to have your big boy out.
Yeah.
Phoenix Armor can go back up higher. Like you see what I'm saying? So
Yeah,
they all
I
kind
get it.
of
I got
are
what you're
locked
saying.
together in my opinion.
Okay. Yeah, I guess I see what you're saying. As like AL12s in theory should be kind of like stronger. It's like, yeah, these are the things that are going to be kind of more useful. That's fair. And
I
also,
like I like Blood of the Bat.
yeah, and then just to go on, I know again that you have Gen 3 cards that are creatures, but it's like Enlightened Soul. Do you really think this isn't going to be like a S tier like in every deck? Like, I don't know, man. I feel like this card is probably going to be in every
Uh,
deck.
it, it might
Every yeah.
it might be. Like I
Sack.
said, I haven't played with them, so I don't know. That's just the vibe I get. Like it could easily float into A or S tier.
Cuz it's 20 HP. So it's like it
It's -20 in your cemetery total net. So yeah.
yeah. So it's like I don't know. So wait, is it a 40 HP creature but then it does
No,
minus
it's a 20 HP and it's -40.
minus 40?
So you
Yeah.
add
So
20
it's like
-40. Yeah, so it's net -20.
it's like even decks that like don't really sack. It's like I feel like it's still good, right? Cuz it's like
Yeah.
I just look at it like this. An 8 like a deck with like 10 or like 100 HP creatures. It's like this could just be another like little creature that you just kind of like throw in to like give yourself a chance to get like 100 HP creatures. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but you can already do that. You just have to time it.
Yeah. Okay, that's fair. I don't know.
The only one that you could tell me that I'm wrong about, and I would probably agree with you, is Friend Like You. I just freaking love the card, and I think it's gonna be really good for creator decks. But I
Well,
mean, it is technically more niche.
if
Like it
well,
only really works for creator decks.
I mean, I'm not gonna argue with you because you might be surprised where I put that card. But anyway, yeah. No, I think
That's fine.
the rest of them make a lot of sense. Perfect Shark. Yeah, I think the card itself is pretty good. Um, yeah.
I put it there just because it's except for Gnome Theon, is the only creature that can self heal by stacking,
Okay.
and
Fair, fair.
that's a crazy mechanic.
Yeah. Okay, that's fair. I like that a lot. Yeah. Okay, makes sense. I guess I'm kind of curious too. Is just Biodino like? Do you feel like it's just like big stat, like biggest stat creature in the game, or what? Just because like you could potentially sack it to make it the biggest, or what's the thought for that card too? I'm kind of curious why you put that above like all the other like AL12s, kind of in a sense, that are below it.
Uh, yeah, I mean, like I don't know if you're playing a deck with it, like you're probably gonna have like a bunch of two, three, three, four. I mean, heck, even like three, yeah, like all these creatures that are gonna be sackables with the intent of using it for Biodino.
Nah,
So,
think about
I
this
mean, if I
guy,
take
Sweet Tooth. Oh
Sweet
man,
Tooth,
I
yeah,
think
that
that's gonna
fits
be.
right in,
Yeah,
right?
I know the thematic
I
for
mean,
both of them
like,
is great.
so if I use Sweet Tooth and a wizard, that's
Mm-hmm.
6+8 on top
Eight.
of his one
Yeah.
plus one, so that's a 7+9,
Mm-hmm.
and that was you committed 90 HP. Like that's pretty good,
Yeah, I don't know.
and like that's extremely mild, right? Like Octa Orc is 8/8 for 10
Yeah,
HP,
that's fair.
and I just
I just kind of think it's like the reason you put Vampire Lord in C is like because can get negated pretty easily, and it's like I feel like Biodino in a sense too can kind of be like, oh, it just gets negated. Now it's like, all right, now I have zero, nothing. It's like now I'm just
yeah,
a fat wall.
you've
So it's like,
got that's a fair take. That's
yeah.
a fair take. However, he can start. I think he can do damage way quicker than Vampire Lord can.
Oh,
Whereas
100.
Vampire Lord is like more
Yeah,
sustained.
that's fair.
So like if you've got a Mind Sap in your deck but it's not there yet, Vampire Lord's kind of like a stally deck. So
Mm-hmm.
you just have to wait for your Mind Sap. Whereas like Biodino, like if you don't get your Mind Sap in time, like you might
Yeah,
have like eaten through most of your deck.
that's fair. Yeah, nah, dude.
It's aggro.
Yeah. Okay. All right. I guess I can see it. You're right. I think it probably fits more in the C, but you know what? With what you're saying, I'll take B tier too. It can be in the B tier. Okay. Other
Let's
than
look at
that,
S and A tier, and then we'll get onto your list.
yeah. Don't worry. We'll get there. Okay. A tier. So this is like pretty good, like, but not top, right?
Yeah, these are just really, really good. Fit in most deck with no questions.
Mm-hmm.
Um, you could argue me out of Stone Golem.
Oh, I'm gonna
You could throw
argue
that
out of
down lower.
Sack Goat. I'm sorry, brother. That card
No,
does
I
not.
love the new change.
That card does not go in every deck. I don't care what you say. That
I
card.
think we're gonna be playing with
No,
AL12s.
I'm gonna say it right now. I don't care. That card. They no matter what they do, I don't think it's redeemable. So that's just my hot
I
take.
like it a lot. I know you hate it. I love that card. I
Hmm.
love that. I love it now.
I hope
I
it
love it
gets
now.
played. Don't get me wrong. I've said this the last time. I hope it does get played. It deserves to get played. But yeah, I just nope. I don't. Not over
So
here.
for the viewers at home who may not know the change, Sack Goat originally when Gen 2 released was, um, if you sacrifice it from the field, it counts as two sacrifices,
Mm-hmm.
which
Yeah.
that sounds pretty good. It's got 50 HP or whatever. But it's really hard to get that to go off because you
Mm-hmm.
have to get it on the field. It has to live for a turn, and it has to have its effect not negated. Also, it's
And
50 HP in the cemetery.
and you have to have the AL12 creature in your hand.
Yeah, you have to have it. Like, so you have to have a lot of like the stars aligned.
Mm-hmm.
They've now made it. It's 30 HP,
Yeah.
and you can sack it from the hand,
Which
which
it
is
should have
a
been that way.
much needed improvement
Should have been that
from the
way
beginning.
from the
Yeah,
beginning.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
100%.
So it's 30 HP is pretty huge, and then so is from the hand. So I think it's gonna make it really, really good.
Think how viable AL12s could have been with just that being the way it Sacco worked. That's all I'm gonna say. I think AL12s were robbed for
Yeah,
so
yeah. I mean, I
long.
hear you.
Yeah.
We're gonna see the resurgence of
Hmm.
Sec or
Okay.
A12s. I mean,
Well, Billy, I don't want to do it to you here right now, but when we get to my list, I'm gonna tell you why we will not see the resurgence of that card. All right, and
good,
I hope you're
good,
ready
good,
for
good.
that. But anyway, with your A list, how do I feel? Okay, this all right. I really like that you. I
Remember,
really
this
like
is
that
when
you have here.
AL12's getting good again.
Yeah, okay, I know, but I really like that you have heroism on this up here this high because I actually value that card very highly. I feel like a lot of people
Oh, I love that card.
kind of sleep on that card. Same with Stone Golem. I feel like a lot of people sleep on Stone Golem. Um, hmm. Okay, I'm curious. Oh, okay. So your list. Oh, all right. You have Creator's Gift up there. Okay, well we'll talk about that when we
Yeah,
get
I
to
do.
S tier. All right. Okay, Watcher on the Wall. Obviously, with the change, yes, I think that card. Honestly, I might have put that card even higher. But
I don't know if it's that
yeah.
high. It was high when its original effect, but its original effect was broken. So
Yeah, and I think like you said, Epic Loot. Now that like you're talking about like an AL12 meta where you got big HP creatures that like a full heal is pretty strong. Turncoat obviously
yep.
pretty strong to turncoat big HP creatures. Judgment's
Mm-hmm.
always up there. Yeah, I like Demonic Turtle too. Demonic Turtle's like 50 HP. Yes, it costs a sack, but it's just like it's almost just like okay, I can sack at any point in the game. It's kind of back to my whole like take of what was that card? Oh yeah, like encounter or a close encounter where it's like I can kind of just like sack into this thing most times where it's like other sack creatures feel kind of like ooh, I need to make sure like I do my timing kind of correct where I feel like um
Yeah.
Demonic Turtle doesn't feel that bad to do it, so I like that. Obviously, Graph. We don't really know how great this card's gonna be. Like you said, I'm sure
Nope.
there's some pretty good decks that can run around it. I just that card I feel like might fit a little bit lower on your should be a little lower on your list. I like it.
That's fair.
I
I
think it's
could.
a
I
cool
could.
card, but yeah,
I.
it definitely is like only has like it's like kind of niche way to play it. I don't think it's gonna be like every deck is running this card in my opinion, but yeah, I like it. Cybernetic
We'll see.
upgrade, very strong. I mean, hell, 30.
I just that card's crazy.
Yeah,
I think it's really good.
it's pretty good. And then Shapeshifter, it I think in Gen 3 only, it's gonna be really good. I think outside of just Gen 3 only, I don't think it's that great in my opinion.
Listen, you cannot discount versatility. It has got
Yeah.
crazy versatility. And
I
like, yeah, I also said Raccoon Knight was going to be busted beyond belief in Gen 2, and I put him in C tier now. So
mm,
maybe that's this case, but I really like his effect a lot.
yeah, I think it is definitely a different, a unique card that isn't Ward. Like I said, there really isn't like I get to have like every kind of like advantage that I need in the game. I just think it's one of those weird cards too, though, where it's like you kind of only can do so much buffing with it. I think where it's like it doesn't really get you like tons more value from like buffing it up too much more, if that makes sense. Like it's kind of built into the card, which I guess makes it so you could probably make it more like a protective, like you just keep it from getting damaged and then it just keeps like able to output whatever you need out of it. But yeah, I don't know. I just think
Yeah.
it's a cool card. I just don't know if it really fits like in every deck very well when it's like there's probably other things that are just going to be like stronger than that. But all right.
Yeah, sure.
We'll let it sit up there for now. All right, go to your S tiers. Let's do these. I don't think I'm going to debate these too heavily, but we'll see.
No, Holy Light's the best card in the game. Revival Priest is probably the second best card in the game, if not the third best.
Mhm.
Visitor is not on here because it's an epic. Backstab is crazy and will get even better with AL12s because a lot of these big creatures just have a crazy high attack. Assassin's X to Backstab for basically the same reason. Creator's Gift is, I would, Creator's Gift and All One feel like the best equips in the game.
Mhm.
They just feel like they do so much and like they can turn the tides really well. So
Yeah.
um, I like them a lot.
That's fair. I don't know. I have a hard time putting equips up in S tier just because of the fact of how like there's just a lot of things that can just kind of get rid of them for the most part. I
Yep,
do
that's
think
fair.
they were really. Here's the thing, Billy. I think they were S tier before Gen 3. Now that we have cards like Atom Bomb, I think they lose a lot of their power because it's like Foggy Knight just
That's fair.
yeah, Foggy
That's
Knight doesn't protect it.
fair.
I will just say, I think
No,
Revival Priest. This might be a hot take. I think Revival Priest is the best card in Ward. I think it's even better than Holy Light. Just by some of the
mm,
plays that you can pull off with Revival Priest over Holy Light, like Wrath of the Old Ones with Revival Priest, I think is just nuts. Like I don't know, you don't get that same thing with like Holy Light. You know what I mean? Like I like Holy Light. I'm not saying it's not a bad card. It's a very small margin of like those two cards, but I do think Revival Priest just by what you can do with that card and how well it like can set up your stuff. Like the nice thing about Holy Light is like, all right,
yeah,
I pull out my AL12, but I still have to sack it to get it back out. Revival Priest just says I can just get that AL12 right back out from the cemetery. Obviously, yes, I have to protect this card too,
oh
but like
yeah.
I don't know.
I mean,
I honestly think
Revival
Revival
Priest
Priest
is
is
really
like
good in certain.
yeah. Mall
The
Santa
reason,
be the
the
best
reason.
card.
Well, okay, let me give you my reasoning.
Yep.
Holy Light is basically saying I get an extra copy of one of my deck. The only requirement's in the cemetery. Now they both have the requirement that the card has to be in the cemetery to be used.
Yep.
But Holy Light says if it's I get an extra card. Well, not an extra card. I get a duplicate. And Revival Priest says I get to redo a creature, but you can do a lot of techie stuff with it. I do like that card a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I'm still gonna say it's Holy Light's better, but I
Okay.
mean, I see your point, and I know it's really, really good.
Either
So
way, they're both in S tier. I'm not really arguing anything, but I guess if we ever
yeah, I
have
put
the
them at the
like
front for a reason.
yeah, it's like if we ever have the talk of what is the best Ward card in Ward, I'm just saying that's one of my candidates for sure. Backstab, that's hard to debate. It just literally lets most creatures just
It
kind of
just
like
does so
yeah.
much damage. It's
Well, and it's just
crazy.
well for like the value. It's like your one card just basically lets you like most times one shot creatures. Same with
Yeah.
Assassin. Assassin, like literally, I've watched people with like one buff on this thing just mow down just about every little creature in someone's deck. That it's like, yeah, I just
Yep.
it can definitely be considered an S tier. All right. Nah, honestly, I think you did it pretty good. Like I said, there's a couple cards I'm gonna flip quite a bit around, but for the most part,
Oh, that's okay.
I think I like the list, Billy. But all right, yeah, we obviously we pounded through yours a little bit. We'll see how quick we go through mine. So that was Billy's tier list. All right, so now I'm gonna pop my tier list on here, Billy. All right, so with this, I have a couple different categories. I didn't do the A through B or A through F. I added a
No, I
little.
like your
I
list.
added a little flavor to it. So I started with my top is Jerry material. So what I mean by Jerry material, these are cards that I think basically throw like crazy wackiness, kind of like Jerry. They're very chaotic and they can cause a lot of weird states in a game, but like at the same time they're usually pretty powerful. And like a lot of times I would say they're like definitely the stronger end of the cards that Ward has. There might be a couple in there that Billy will argue with me on, but you know what? That's okay. That's the whole point of these lists. Then the next thing is,
You know,
oh, what's up?
no, we'll get there.
All
I'll
right.
go through your list.
Gotcha. Creator approved. These are cards that I think like they're just very strong. They usually have a mechanic in them that I think will make them kind of like outpower all of the other like cards that are kind of at their like tier, like in like their like same like realm. I mean, you'll see cards like Subject and Deer Crow, just these cards. The Owl card too, just like cards that will basically like come out for less cost, I guess, than like your average one, and usually they have like some pretty nice effect with them too. Work my way down. Then we have WWB watch list. So this is kind of a tier that I just made where it's like I think on WWB, like me, Billy, Tyler, like I think we're all kind of in agreement that these are some of the cards that are potentially going to be very strong or like are very strong that I think a lot of people don't always think are going to be very strong. And so that's kind of what I put on this little tier list here. And then I have new player bait. This is a fun one. So these are cards that I think they are strong. They're usually
Piss me off.
okay. They're usually strong in general, just as by themselves. But I do think new players gravitate towards these cards. But they don't usually end up being the cards that are kind of like at the top of the game, if that makes sense. But they're definitely cards like when I see new players get into the game, these are the cards that they kind of gravitate towards when they want to build their decks when they first start out. Low tier legendaries. So these I kind of just put them all in the spot. I think they obviously, like Billy was saying, they're still legendaries. If you get them in a crack pack, they feel really good. But I think in general
For sure.
they don't really usually offer you too much, or even in some state like situations, like they don't really like give you like any benefit in your deck, especially like in a crack pack or in those ways. And like obviously, yes, you usually do have to build around these cards quite heavily to make your deck work. At least that's kind of the argument that I've like made with these cards. And then at the bottom we have pack filler. These are cards. Billy likes to use the word pack filler sometimes, where if they are in your pack, you're just like, wow, these do not feel that great to get out. And yes, bait is down here. Sounds from the grave, like Billy. I also agree with the change. They totally busted this card, busted in a bad way. They made it. It went from being super busted to like now it's just broken. It just doesn't work. And you might as well just like put it in the garbage can. And then Sack Goat obviously deserves to be down here because Sack Goat always deserves to be down on this end of it.
Oh
So
no! Don't do my
we'll
goat.
start with pack filler, Billy. All right. How do you feel about my
That's
pack?
why he's the goat.
All right. Why is Sack Goat down here? Are you ready? Sack Goat
Yeah.
is gonna just be replaced by other cards that are just better than Sack Goat, unfortunately. I think Enlightened Soul coming in is gonna be stronger. I know I have Bait on the same level as him, but I think even Bait is in some sense going to be just a better card than Sack Goat. And I think, unfortunately, like, yes, it's great to have another form of Sack Goat in the game, but I think there's just Giant Rat. I mean, there's a couple other cards that aren't even legendary that I think will still take the place over this guy in decks. And so, yeah, I put him at pack filler because, again, he's never going to get the due that he deserves because there's just other mechanics in the game and things that definitely just take place over him that I think are a lot better.
It's good now. I don't think so. Like you can combine it with all those other cards like Giant Rat and Enlightened Soul, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I like his, especially with the reduced HP. I think there's going to be times where your opponent's going to go after like they're going to go after your creature. Like they know you're trying to set up an AL12 and they're going to like spend a lot of cards to make sure they kill it. And then when they think, haha, they can't play their AL12, they got to sack two cards out of their hand. You're like, nah, get goaded, 30 HP, and I'm bringing my AL12 anyway.
See, okay, Bill.
I Echo is a crazy name for
No,
that
Billy,
card.
because
That's
you're
great.
thinking of best. Okay, I'm gonna tell you why you're wrong. You're thinking of best case
All
scenario.
right.
You want to hear worst case scenario? You open up with this guy, you play
Yeah.
him. He only has 30 HP. He gets like one shot, and then he's just gone, and then he's dead. And yes, maybe you put 3 of these in your deck, but either way, bait can never be one shotted on my first turn. I don't ever have to open up with this card. I think bait just makes it better. Enlightened Soul. If I open up with Enlightened Soul, maybe they kill my creature. It still just puts -20 into my cemetery. But Sack Goat doesn't feel great. It also doesn't feel great to have to use like recursion cards to pull it out of the cemetery if something happens like that. So I totally disagree with you. I think it just feels really bad because like if you ever open up a hand
You just
and
hate the card.
if you ever open up and this is the first dude you have to play, especially now with the HP decrease, it's like feels so bad to have to play it. It's just one like think of all those times where you play a card where you're just like, I really wish I didn't have to play this card right now. You know, like Psychic Toad. It's kind of gonna fit in that category, but I think it also just like doesn't do anywhere near what Psychic Toad does, and I just think it's pack filler. Pack filler. All right, moving on. Low tier. I mean, do you have any problems? I think me and you kind of had like your like CD tier. It's like I think a lot of these cards kind of fit in there with those ones that you had. Maybe Biodino is the only one that
Bait is not pack filler. I think
bait
it's a little bit better than
bait is pack
filler.
filler. I think me and
That's
Casey
crazy.
had a debate about this card and or talked about it, and it's like the amount of stuff that you're giving up for bait. I think is not always great. I also think bait just like takes the place of more creatures in your deck that a lot of people will be like, oh, I don't need to play creatures. And so I think a lot of people will get kind of, no pun intended, baited by this card and they'll be like, oh yeah, all these big creatures, but then they'll end up putting so few creatures that they'll just get like ripped apart so fast. Like you were saying, there's some creatures in this game now that can just like Biodino that can just destroy you really quick, or just, you know, Cabal War Chief can just rip through a lot of your little creatures that I think bait will kind of bait people. And no pun intended, but that's why bait is down there.
I think if you play it bad, yeah, sure, but you could deck like it should be used in conjunction with lots of little creatures because it's consistency and making sure your big guy gets out.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah, that's fair. I don't know. That's just kind of the reason I put it down here. I think like Sack Goat and bait sound great as a concept, but I do really think that it's like people don't really always think about like the game state of Ward, of like how it's going to look like when you open up a hand of this card. It's like not only is this just a dead card in your hand until you get that like setup, it's like I don't know. I don't see it being like, "Oh, I feel great when I have the card bait in my hand if I don't have
I mean,
all the
yeah.
pieces."
I'll tell you what though, you should have put it in new player bait because that's the category is named after it to begin with.
That's
So
fair. You know what? I want it.
that's
Actually, that's where it started when I
it
made the
should
list. But then I was like, you know what? It's actually I don't even think it's like great. But yes, you're right. It would be new player bait. I mean, all these cards kind of in pack filler are in a sense going to be new player bait, I think. But at the same time, I just wanted to like make sure people understand of how low I put these cards. Like I think they're even just like these are cards
all
you'll
right.
use them once and you'll be like,
Real
oh,
quick,
yeah, I ain't gonna use them again.
where would you put pre-nerf Sound from the Grave?
Pre-nerf silence. I put that card
Pre-nerf,
probably
yeah,
at creator approved. Like you said, it has a cost.
yeah.
I think just the fact that it has a cost, it's like it can't be at top tier. But I do think that card can really just like shut it. Just like how unfun it is to play and like played at, like you said, the proper time. Silence from the Grave just kind of like ends the game no matter what. It's kind of a
Well,
guarantee that kind of keeps
now
you in the
it
game.
Now it ends the game because if you played it, you shouldn't have never put it in your deck. So
Exactly. Again, it's still busted. It's just busted in the it's busted in the wrong
no,
way.
I just want to hate on it.
Mm-hmm.
I just want to hate on it.
It's
Okay,
all good.
let's
Hey.
go to low tier legendary.
Hey, it was a fun. Hey, don't get me wrong. When it came out and it was a cool secret that no one knew about, I thought it was really cool. But
Yeah, the
then you
secret
read the
was
effect
fun.
and you're just like, Jesus, that effect is insane. All right, but now they just made it so it's like, yeah, it doesn't feel great. Don't want to pull
What you
that
got?
in my pack. I'll just say that much. All right, but yeah, low tier. Was there anything that you had a question for low tier? Or not really. I mean, I put Blood of the Bat in there. I put a couple cards that you were.
Close Encounter should be in pack filler.
No, come on.
Biodino, I don't agree, but we already talked about it.
Yeah.
I would put that a little bit higher, but that's okay.
I just don't think it's gonna see much play. I think a lot of, and that's kind of like what Giga's down here.
Much play.
I just
We'll
don't.
see.
Again, I just don't think people are really gonna think that those cards are like that great. Like I said, I mean, again, Gen
Brother.
3 here, Biodino Gen 3 only. I think it is gonna be a really great card. And then maybe that's the hard thing about these lists that feels a little bad. Like we haven't even got to Gen 3, even though I know you're like saying like, oh yeah, it's gonna be kind of fun. It's like it does feel a little bad when you're just like, yes, in Gen 3, I think this card is gonna be really crazy. Hive Queen gonna be really crazy in Gen 3 only.
Can I suggest a combo for Biodino that might make you move it out of low tier? What if you have Ward United on the field with it? Then it's sacks count double. So if I do 2 Octo Orcs with Ward United on the field, now it's a 34 plus 34.
Yeah.
Play your favorite common card, double hit. Now I'm just one-shotting things twice in a row.
I get that, but I think there is just like, but then you still have things like bounce. You still have things like mind sap. You still, I don't know. I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying. I just don't think it's, it's not like Cabal War Chief where it's like built-in things that protect it. Where it's like, I don't know. It sounds great on paper. It's kind of like Creator itself. Creator on itself sounds amazing. Like I'm not saying it's bad. Like if you open up in a crack pack, yes, Creator's probably just gonna wall up the game. But it's like Biodiner by itself, I don't think is like crazy. But I get what you're saying. That effect is crazy. Don't get me wrong. And maybe we move it up to new player bait because I'm assuming a lot of new players are going to be pretty psyched to see a card like this. But if we know anything about the high competitive level, well, at the high competitive level, I mean, again, we had things like Maniac, things like Elkanost. Like, are any of these things like crazy, just buff crazy stats? No, but it's just the things that function mechanically with it, right? So it's like I just don't think is going to get
we'll
there.
see.
But anyway, that's why those are in there. Blood of the Bat. I mean, I know you said just because of like bigger creatures. I just think there's going to be if you're not only talking Gen 3, it's like there's just going to be so much destruction still in the game where I just think equips are going to be really hard, especially with Atom Bomb just built in now where like Foggy Night just kind of feels like not really worth running in my opinion. Like might still be running, but I just think Atom Bomb just puts a lot of equips into check. So it's like I just don't really think it's going to do much. All right. So yeah, we'll move up to new player bait. I think I have Assassin in here, probably a pretty hot topic, but I do think with Gen 3 actually coming in, I think Assassin is gonna be kind of like pretty bad. Like I think there is tons. I know it.
Bad.
I know you're laughing, but I think there are tons of things that make this card not good anymore. Atom Bomb is actually one of them that I think makes this card very not great. Just again, the fact that it's like, yes, this card is good with equipments, but besides that, I feel like this card really doesn't have a whole heck of a lot going for it, and there is just a ton of like burn built-in things like Logging Road is another example that I have, like old Logging Road. It's like you get burned for Assassin's damage, like she takes damage, all that. You get what I'm saying. I just think there's a lot of things that kind of mess with Assassin now, and I think she's going to be new player bait. I think a bunch of people getting into the game are going to pick her up, and they're going to be like, yes, I got Assassin, and then it's like, all of a sudden you realize how the meta has shifted from Gen 3, and it's just going to not actually be as great as it seems.
Yeah. Right, you heard it here first. Assassin is new player bait. If you don't want your assassins, contact me. I will happily trade them to you.
Exactly.
Or I'll happily trade them. I'll take him off your hands.
Yeah. All right. Same with like Raccoon Knight. I meant Raccoon Knight. I mean, I think like you were
Oh,
saying
I
on
agree
your
with you.
list. Yeah, that's pretty
I
bait
agree.
too. I do have Demonic Turtle down here though. I think Demonic Turtle's also new player bait. Kind of for the like you said this is why I have Shapeshifter. This is why I have Vampire Lord. I just think once their effects are gone, these things don't feel that great. They actually feel pretty.
Yeah, but demonic, like, yeah, okay, I agree. You're right.
Mm-hmm.
But demonic turtle, like, if I have a mind sap, I don't know if I'm using it on a demonic turtle. Like, it's right in that area where it's like, dang, like I'm only using this on a 50 HP creature, and I know they have something else that I probably need to save my mind sap for. So it's like,
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I don't know.
Here's another hot take. I think this Last Hope Hero. I think this card is gonna really. I know a lot of people are super hyped about this card. I don't really think it's gonna find that many uses where you're just like, yeah, give me this card. It's like I don't know. I think people are
I will say
looking with it.
the condition kind of sucks for it, but like if it pops, it's good. It's better than bio
Yeah, but
regenerate
that's
for
like saying
sure, you
that's like
know?
saying Apocalypse also is good, right? It's like if it pops, it's good, right? I don't know. But
Yeah, well, well, actually, you can't really. If you're playing a Steam Rex deck and you use Apocalypse and my guy dies because of it, I can throw Last Hope Hero and do a double hit on you, or not double hit, like a 2x hit.
Yeah. Okay, all right. I don't know. Again,
You're unimpressed.
I really think this is a new player bait card. I think it's just gonna get a lot of people like. Again, it's a cool card. Don't get me wrong. Love the concept. A lot of these cards in this thing are really cool cards. That's why new players kind of just gravitate towards them. But I do think they're kind of just bait that like a lot of people like think are just amazing, but it's like they don't really do a whole heck of a lot when you get to like the competitive scene. I put Perfect Shark down here too, just because I think it's one of those decks where like people just really like Perfect Shark, and then you realize how hard it is to actually get that to function properly, and then it's like, but
I mean, yeah, I get it.
okay, all right. Anything or otherwise, I'm gonna move on to WWB watch list. Now, this might differ a little bit
Why?
for you,
Why?
Billy. Oh, sorry, what's that?
That's fine. Why did you put Orc Champion and new player bait?
I honestly think it's gonna be one of those cards that a lot of new people go towards, and I don't for a 112. I know it is AL12. Don't get me wrong. I really just don't think like it's gonna need a ton of setup to actually make this card like super good. I think it's kind of like the Raccoon Knight thing, and I know Raccoon Knight lower HP, all those stuff, but I really think it's gonna sit somewhere in that realm of like it's gonna feel really good, but it still isn't actually gonna be like that great of a card. Like I get what I like. I don't think it's terrible. Like again, I still think it's really it can be a good card, but I don't think it's actually gonna like break into like the top competitive play, if you know what I mean. And I think that's kind of more why I put it at
Okay.
like new player bait.
I'm not gonna argue too much on that because neither of us have we don't have it in hand yet. We can't play with it, so we'll
Right.
see. And like
Kind
maybe
of how it
maybe we'll
feels.
see a lot of data from your tournament on Sunday. But
Yeah, kind of see how it feels by that time. Yeah, for sure. I really want to
yeah,
see what kind of combos and stuff work out with it. Um, but then we'll go to WWB watch list. Again, these are cards like Billy. You might differ from it, but I would just say these are kind of cards that like I and you guys, I think in general, like we as a collective have talked a lot about some of these cards where it's just like, oh yeah, like these cards are probably going to be better than they appear, or they are just better than they appear. The reason why I have the gnome, I want to call it Gnomegeddon, is because it's another stack card like Eternal Dragon, which I do think the stack mechanic is really strong, and
yeah,
like I think
yeah. It is.
a lot of new players don't understand how to utilize the stack mechanic. It's like I would put Perfect Shark up here, but I really think the Perfect Shark is like honestly like pretty low bait. Like anybody who sees like the Sharkling, the Great White, like they're always just like, yeah, Perfect Shark, and it's like I think these ones are actually like higher tier than Perfect Shark. Uh, Eternal Dragon, the fact that you can just pull it out of your deck, kind of gets around the what Perfect Shark lacks. It just has consistency that like you can't really get with any other deck other than Dragon decks. The gnome card again, we haven't played with it yet, but I do just think there's a lot of good gnomes that I think gnomes in general are just pretty low key. Like people don't they kind of sleep on gnomes. I think they're actually pretty good as I've played them in our league, and I think just this card added in is just going to be crazy. Oh yeah, Graph. Graph is a card that we're all looking at. I think there is probably ways to bust this card and make it better. I do just think again, it's there's only so much you can do with Graph. Like it is a really cool card. I don't know, and again,
Yeah, I mean, I think it has potential, right? Like, if
mhm,
you play right, it's probably like extremely devastating. But like, also, it's a field card. Also, if
yeah,
you equip, I don't know, if you equip a big fat HP creature to your guy and then they use Twister, like you just lost it. It's kind of like the
right.
helping hand problem, right?
Yeah, I would agree. I think it just takes a lot of and a lot of these cards you will notice they do probably take a lot more thought, somewhat thought provoking to play them. I mean, obviously, some of the other cards are that way too, but I think like you don't always just see the inherent like how to play this card correctly. You know what I mean? I think Graph will kind of be one of those cards
Sure.
where it's like you don't know how to play this card
Yeah.
correctly. The card next to it that I can't remember what is it called? It's like
Galactic
yeah,
suit.
Galactic Suit. I think this card is honestly gonna be probably one of the equips that like take up like a higher up equip card. I just think
That's crazy.
like you're saying with
Why do you
like
think it's so good about it?
I just think like the damage output in Ward is just going up and up and up, and I like well at least at the moment it's like things are getting stronger, doing more damage. And I think this card, like I said, with AL12s not being as easy to hit, things like that, I think it's kind of one of those scenarios where I think this card is just going to potentially get better, or be like pretty strong just because of that mechanic. Like at like late game, like this card can like win you so many times where it's like you might not have won, but since this card like is on your creature at the end of the game and somebody tries to hit and then they miss and then they hit themselves, like you know what I mean? I think this card like
Yeah,
it's
I
kind
hear
of
you.
insane.
I again, like that's one of those wild to just watch and see.
Yeah, that's fair. Like I said, we don't have a lot of data. I'm very curious if anyone puts this card in their deck in our tournament because I think this card will be pretty cool. Why did I put a friend like me up here? Well, maybe Jerry. Jerry, again, one of those things where I think it is going to be AL12 pretty heavy. And I think Jerry is one of those cards where it's like, yeah, he just kind of like doesn't cost a sack, and you get stats of sack creatures. It's like I know he's base stats, right? So it's like Biodino. I don't think he would get. Does
You
Biodino say
get
base
no,
stats? What does it say? Does it say it
no, because it's
changes
in a
like?
no. It's no. Your
Because
base stats is what print on the
yeah, so
card
like
because
okay, so that wouldn't be a good example, but I just think there is a lot of big creatures in this AL12s and stuff. So it's like Jerry itself, he'll just become a hard to hit guy, and you basically get in a free AL12 for most times if you play Jerry. And so like I don't know, this might be a debatable one where he might go a little lower, but I think Jerry.
he should be in. I think the only problem with Jerry in this list is that he should be in Jerry material.
Okay, yeah, I wanted to put him in Jerry
How can
material.
Jerry not be in Jerry material?
Yeah, I think that's fair. I know I should put him up at the top, but I do think I mean obviously Jerry Materials like warps the game of Ward, and I don't think Jerry like unfortunately I don't think he like warps the game of Ward if that makes sense in my opinion. But
His war crimes, dude.
yeah, I know he's got war crimes, but that's why he's on the WWE watch list. We're watching him because he's got war
Yeah,
crimes.
okay.
But yeah,
The no-fly list.
a friend like me, I actually think there's a lot of ways to trigger to get this thing to like work and like die from because it has to die by combat damage, which I think is like the one hindering thing
Yeah.
to this card. But I think there's ways to manipulate that pretty easily, where I actually I really like this card. I think creator decks get so much improved from this, and I think we might actually have a viable creator deck now that this card is in the game. If that makes sense.
I mean, I basically completely agree. However, it is the most useless Gen 3 only card. So,
Yes, it is.
sucks to suck.
So again, if this was a Gen 3 only list, yeah, this card would probably be at the very bottom.
Feels pretty bad.
That'd be a pack filler
Yeah.
card for me for sure. But that's not what this list is. Cybernetic upgrade. I put this in this spot just because I think
The color matches.
yeah, it's interesting. Yeah, the color matches. It's an interesting card. I just think it's one of those cards where it's like, okay, if I do have a negate like damage, like I just negate this, and then it's just like, all right, and then it's done. And it's like, I don't know. I don't think it's. That's kind of why Mimic Chest I put it on this spot too. It's like I think both these cards are really good. I just think like they have a very easy potential to not work, if you know what I mean. And so it's like, I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, high risk, high reward, right? If it goes off, that's crazy. If it
Yeah,
doesn't, well, oh well.
yeah, that's fair.
Not the end of the world.
And I just think it's like that they're definitely like kind of like catch you off guards. I kind of almost put them in like Jerry material because like I think they can really like mess with your gameplay, but again they don't really have that level of like how powerful these cards can be kind of thing. So like that's why they're in this
Yeah.
list. But I'm very curious, like I said, at when all this cards are released, I think these cards will definitely probably make it into decks pretty consistently of like just to have like like you were saying, Billy, it's like you want to have this big like punch factor that all of a sudden catches people off guard. And it's like I think these cards kind of do that.
Yeah.
Creator approved. This might be, Billy, where you might rip me apart, but I put some cards. These are also maybe Harry approved as well, but in this, so for these I have all in one. I think it's just a really strong card. Again, it's equipped. You will notice that I do have an equip card in the Jerry material kind of at the top, but I do think that these other equips, they can get destroyed. It's like, yes, they're powerful because they can't be negated, which is awesome. But I do think like Creator's Gift, Celestial Power, it's like all in one. They can just get destroyed. I have the bounce cards up here. Judgment, Terrifying Roar. Like I just think bounce is still going to be really strong going into Gen 3, and with all the cards, I don't see why people wouldn't run these bounce cards, not only for like their own benefit, but also to just mess with their opponent's boards. Is there any card in that list that's bothering you? I mean, obviously, Frostworm, probably. You're probably going to have a big hate on that card.
The card got neutered. I don't like it at all. But
Frostworms?
yeah.
I think it got improved. What do you mean neutered? I think
No way it got improved.
the only
Oh,
one thing I
Lord.
wanted from it is be a field spell. If that card was a field spell, I think it would be like busted.
Where did it go? EFG. Frostworms. Equipped creature speed modifier changes 0. The equipped creature cannot be used as sacrifice. I don't like that they remove the supersedes. I like the supersedes a lot.
Yeah,
That was good.
that's fair, but I just think having that can't be sacrificed, I think is such a good mechanic. Like I love that mechanic, and like I don't know.
Yeah, it's good.
I,
I just don't like it.
I think it's gonna find its way into decks just because you're getting rid of their modifier and their speed. Like, yes, they have to have cards.
Oh,
like,
it'll make it
buff.
away.
They have to have cards that buff up, but like as I said, like with Atom Bomb, I think a lot of people aren't gonna run as many equip cards. And so I think this card might actually find a lot of value, lowering modifiers.
Pumpkin Man, whatever. Deer Crow, whatever. Owl God, I think Joe just put that in the game because he wants a big owl creature beater because he has his owl deck,
This
and
might be
so
a hot
he wants
take.
an owl version.
I think Owl God is better than Creator. Hot take.
No, not with friend like you. No way.
Okay, friend like you's
No way.
good, but I still think like just Owl deck is actually a lot easier to build than a Creator deck, in my opinion, because Creator does still take 3 stacks, and I think Owl deck not really having to take 3 stacks, I think is not bad.
I still think Joe just put it in the game because he likes Owl, so that's about it. But
I agree.
I mean,
but it also doesn't have. Okay, yeah, that's fair.
I'll tell you what. One day, when we get all of our cards, I'll build a creator deck and you build an Owl God deck, and we'll just see what happens. How about
Okay, that's fair. Yeah, that's actually a fun. I like that. But either way, I just think it's hard not to put this card. Like if Creator was here, Creator would obviously go on this spot too. I just think they're just good on their own. It's like biggest stat creature without having to do anything else. So it's like, yeah.
You could say that it's better than the creator because it's a legendary and creators are hard to get, but I mean, I think creators just straight up better. So
okay, that's debatable.
That's fine. All right. Well, Jerry material. What do you got?
All right. Yeah. Well, do you have any problem with any of those cards in creator list or no? You think those are not bad? That's.
I don't know how Soul Eater's gonna play.
Yeah, so would
I mean, I would kick out Pumpkin Man every day. But again, I thought you meant creator approved. Like the Tom and Joe really like these cards, so they go
Oh,
here.
well, I meant yeah. Well, in a sense,
Well, and
no.
it's pretty true. But I mean,
I
also I think
yeah,
I'll throw Frostworms and pack filler. So there you go.
okay. Well, yeah.
And then
Fair
and
enough.
then we'll play it, and then it'll land somewhere in between there.
Yeah.
So
All right. Fine. Yeah. But either way, I like this category. Like I said, I think a lot of these things, like these are just better. Like in my opinion, like creatures that only take like one sack or like have like these like weird like little sack things, I think end up actually being like the best of their like kind, if that makes sense. At least at this moment, like usually like Pumpkin Man only or subject only needing to sack one creature to bring out like pretty good. Pumpkin Man on its own is also just pretty good. The card that you do use to sack it. Scarecrow and Big Buck. I love Big Buck, so I'll argue that one. But like Scarecrow, they're pretty garbage themselves. So it's like I don't know. Deer Crow maybe a little less than Pumpkin Man, but you get what I'm saying. The same with the Owl guy. I think they're just a little easier to bring out than maybe some of the other bigger AL12s. Um, all right.
okay.
Jerry Material. Yeah, I know. We're rocking it. Okay, so Watcher in the Wall. The change to Watcher in the Wall, I think this card is like way too good now again. I'm going to be the first to say
I
it.
don't think it's way too good, but
I
it's definitely
I think it's way too good.
all right. You can play it then.
All
Put three
right,
of them in your deck.
that's fine. I'll play it. But anyway, I again, the reason why these cards all are up here is they basically just like totally like change the function of like I would say kind of how Ward plays. Cosmic Negation, I mean, that card alone I think is just kind of crazy, like forcing your opponent to basically just only have the creature fight creature. I mean, abilities still work, but other than that, it's like, nothing else. Um, Obviously, it's a card that can be like popped by destruction effects. I just don't know how much people prioritize like destruction, like creature effects. To be honest, I don't feel like they really have in Ward, and I just think that card alone pretty strong. Heroism, the reason why this is like the one equipped, or I guess two equips with Revival Priest, but Heroism, the fact that once it's on the field it can't be destroyed, is just a big thing, and obviously with AL12s, they're not
By
going to come back.
magic. By magic.
By magic, yes. So creature effects. I apologize, but yes, by just magic, which I think again, there's going to be a lot of destruction magic with Atom Bomb, all these other things. So it's like I think this card will feel good. It's a good card to have, especially with your big AL12s that you don't want to get bounced off the field and things. I
Big Al 12.
I put a Light and Soul up here again. It's hard to know where this card's going to shake out, but I do think just the base general idea of this card I think is just very good. Where Sack Goat is terrible, this card definitely just it replaces it so much.
Yeah, I mean it's hard to know where like some of these Gen 3 cards are gonna land, but like in general, it just kind of feels like Enlightened Soul always ends up on the upper half of
Yeah.
cards that like legendaries I think about.
And then Backstab, and I actually put Magic Steel up here. I just do think it's one of those like turn the tide award card where like you made a really good argument, and honestly I might put it lower just because of your argument, but about the fact that it's like
Well, I
not
mean,
every card really
in
can be
the
affected by it, but um,
in the fact that you're stealing their card, that is certainly Jerry material. Like that's
yeah,
chaotic.
no,
So
100%.
chaotic and game changing. So like I
Yeah,
can agree. I can argue that. Like that's fine.
yeah, and so I obviously that's kind of why I put it up here. This Shard Titan guy. Okay, this might be another one of my hot takes, but I think he is going to kind of change the way that we look at Ward in general, just because of the fact of how he doesn't cost anything. I mean, Squire already exists, but like this is like a new level of Squire where I think it's like I don't know. I think there's definitely some unique ways to utilize this guy, um, for sure. That it doesn't cause like I have like a thought with like okay, so you bring this guy out right, and then he dies, and then you revival priest him back out, and then you could still revival
Yeah.
priest him to bring out another version of him with a new strange jewel. You know what I'm saying? And then if the revival
Can
priest does
you
get destroyed, it doesn't put any more HP into your cemetery, like things like that. I don't know. I'm just saying. I think there could be some
um
goofy mechanicsy things that you could do with that guy that make the game
I
kind of change a little bit of how we view like magic creatures.
I don't think Revival Priest works on Shard Titan. Let me go find it.
Mm,
I'll tell
you're
you why.
probably right because it turns
Because
into a magic card when he goes back into the
yeah,
cemetery.
if this card leaves the field, it returns to be a magic card. So and Revival Priest targets a creature card, so you can't take it.
Okay, fair
Now
enough.
the funny question that I had asked the staff is, um, can you graft a Shard Titan? Because
Yep.
that would be ridiculous, but
Mm-hmm.
it's not a creature, so you can't. It's only a
Yeah.
creature when it gets played. So
Gotcha. Makes sense.
it's kind of the same argument of like if you play a Shard Titan, you can negate it
Yeah. I guess
because once it's activated, its activation effect is it becomes a creature.
oh yeah, because it's like Squire, so you could just negate him.
It's like
Okay.
Squire. You can negate Squires,
Okay.
and they go straight to the
Yeah. Yeah.
cemetery.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, that's interesting. Um,
Yeah,
how does that
that's
work
the
then? Since
hybrid part of
most
it.
cards you don't pay a cost, so then your Strange Jewel and stuff wouldn't get used though. You would still have that on your
No,
creature.
it would you're trying to summon it, and
They just
you're
negate it.
negating it, so it never happened. And
Yeah.
then your Cosmic plus Strange Rule just stays there,
Okay. Well, that
and you'd
doesn't
have
feel
to like play
so
another
bad.
one or yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's bad, but it doesn't. Okay, I didn't even think about the whole negating. Yeah, jeez. Okay, but either way, I think this card will really make people in Ward look at just these like magic creatures a little more and just be like, okay, like how do we, how do we adjust magic creatures maybe in the future or just going forward? How do they kind of like have their place in Ward? And so that's kind of why I put him up at that top tier.
I I like Shard Titan a lot. Um, the 6/4 beater for free is kind of well. I mean, it's not free, but
Not free, but
free in your cemetery is kind of
yeah,
crazy. Yeah, I
right.
think you could do some fun stuff with it. So
No, 100%. And yeah, and then just the more cosmic creatures you get put into the game, it's like I'm sure there'll just become a point where it gets a lot of love. But yeah, so that was my list. It didn't seem like you argued with too much of my stuff. I feel like yeah, it wasn't we were pretty
no,
close
I
on a lot
mean,
of things.
you argued a lot with my stuff, and we kind of covered those cards there. I mean,
Yeah.
my I had such high hopes, and I put it in D tier in mine. You put it in low tier legendary yours. I really love the old one, just
Mm.
because I think there's a lot of wacky stuff you can do with it, specifically with Revival Priest. But like I've tried making decks around it. It really just turns into janky fun. It doesn't turn into anything competitive. So
Yeah.
I have a foil one. I keep it in my like box of cards I regularly play with, but it never like makes it to a tournament. It's just more for fun. So
Yeah, that's fair. A lot of those they're fun. I call them like even like the forgotten one that you're bringing up. It's like they're fun effects. I like to I like to get to see how
yeah,
what
they're fun.
it's like how much I can do with them, but at the same time you're like how viable is this? It's like eh, not really that viable, and so it's just like yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know. That's just kind of the thought I get with it. Um, but yeah, I don't know. I think we were pretty much in agreement. I mean, if we made our list together, I mean, obviously there are a couple cards that I know, Sack Goat I put pretty low. I mean, at the end of the day, I
I
think you're
think
right. It's like
yeah.
it's probably not like pack filler, but it's kind of more of a meme for that one.
That's an
But
overreaction.
at the same
I'll tell you
time,
what. Why don't I know
I really do think it's gonna not honestly get utilized as much as we hope it does because it's just I think there's just better things that kind of just take over the
well
place of it for sure. But
see, here's the fun thing. Like we'll play a couple months of Gen 3 and then we'll start
mhm.
mixing it and then we'll go back to this and be like, all right, were we on the point or were we dumb? And so I think we'll probably be on the point on some of it and we might get some of it very wrong.
Mhm.
Also, I know we talked about like doing a like let's now make this the Jerry Material Creator approved WW, all that. Like, let's make the WWB version of it. I think we need to get. I know Tyler had, a late night commitment. I
Mhm.
think we need to have him bring his tier list, and then we make the whole tier list together.
Yeah. Well, and I also think we should make the whole tier list like you said once like we get some data from Gen 3. Like obviously it'll probably be after after the tournament and like you said, just maybe a little bit ways down the road of just like, okay, well, how did these cards shake out? And then we just like actually make the like official,
Yeah.
like this is how strong we think these cards are in the game. Because like you said, for us too, we're just kind of aiming in the dark about a lot of those Gen 3 cards. It's just like, oh
Oh
yeah,
yeah, we're
this
just we're
it's
just
like we
guessing.
think it's like this is what we think is gonna happen, but it's like, those are those cards where it's like, well, they still have some pretty crazy effects that it's like you never know how strong they will take over the game for sure. But yeah, no.
Yeah.
I
You know, go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say, I just really like that idea that you brought, just to do these tier lists, and I think we really haven't had like a video or like an episode that's like covered like all the legendaries or just like where exactly we fully rank them. I know we did like the Elite Eight, right? And I think that'll be a fun thing to do is like review the Elite Eight after Gen 3 is in there. But I think
Oh, for sure.
it is
For
actually
sure.
really fun to just kind of see like even the stuff we don't always talk about, and it's like why don't we talk about those legendaries? And it's like, oh yeah, these are our reasons why, And so I really like that a lot too.
Yeah, and also like maybe we get like if we played for a little bit and we kind of like get to like a nice agreement about like what's in Jerry material, what's in Creator Approved, what's in WWB watch list. We can like start setting like kind of fun, wacky like game modes where we're like, okay, we're gonna play normal ward, but no Jerry material and no watch list, and then you can play with any other legendaries, or you could say you could only play with low tier legendaries. Like it makes just
Yeah.
fun game modes.
Okay, I like that. Yeah, that'd be
I don't
really
know.
good, especially with our leagues, like you said. The fact that you have the league, it's like, oh, maybe that'd be a fun one to be like, all right, here's our tier list, and these are like the ones you
Yeah,
have to like
yeah,
play.
yeah. That's actually kind of fun.
I think that'd be a good time.
The that when you go play, I don't play Commander, but when you go play Commander, like your local game store, like you get asked the question like, what level deck are you playing? You say like, oh, it's like super competitive. It's like, no, it's just for fun.
Hmm.
And I've been trying to figure out like where does that fit with Ward, and like we don't really have like there's really not enough cards, but like how do
Yeah.
we do that? And like how do you say like I'm just playing it for fun deck without like stomping? It's like
Hmm.
maybe if we have like a canonical way to like say, okay, well here's like kind of the bounds of what you should and shouldn't use, and like anything in Jerry material that's just like game warping. It's like okay, don't use those cards. Don't use creator approve. Maybe not the watch list, and maybe that's just like a floating bucket or whatever. But I
Yeah.
don't know,
Yeah, the watch list is kind of a
something like
weird one
that.
because in my opinion, the watch list is like cards that like we haven't fully seen their potential, so it's like maybe they don't really go in that category. You know what I mean? But it's like, hey, that's I think for like where we're kind of looking at like with legendaries, it's like, oh yeah, those are cards that
Yeah, yeah,
I'm
yeah.
kind of curious about
Well,
for sure.
maybe when we do our like complete tier list in a couple months, like the watch list has to be empty, and we have to put it in a bucket.
No, exactly. I like that a
Because we
lot.
watched it, and now we have a decision.
Yep, and now we gotta like actually decide like how exactly those cards go. No, for sure, I like that a
And then you
lot.
and then you take Satko out of pack filler.
Hmm. Okay, yeah, we'll see. We'll see how much it gets
Justice
played.
for Satko.
Yeah, but Billy, I will say I'll be the first one when no one runs that card, and you will run it. When you're the only one who runs it, I'm just gonna be like, Billy, I
Oh,
told you, no one cares about Sago. It's garbage.
I need to get it first. Let's start there. I don't have a
Oh
Satko.
yeah, see, it's that. There you go. Fair enough. All right, but with that, we're kind of gonna wrap up on final thoughts. Billy, I'll let you go first because mine are gonna just kind of be highlighting all the stuff that we got coming up this weekend. What do you got for final
Yeah, dude.
thoughts?
Final thoughts. Obviously, super stoked by Gen 3. Um, I think there's a lot of really fun cards I'm excited for. And honestly, it's getting the new card smell and the new card feel and just like playing stuff just for fun. Like that's a really fun feeling, and I'm excited for it on Saturday. So
Oh, it's gonna be weird having a binder full of like the new like borders, like you know what I mean? I don't know. I guess I didn't think about that too much either. Like when we were cracking open the new cards, it's just like, oh yeah, like they're gonna have their own look to them for sure. It's gonna.
hey, I I'm gonna tell you, I've been like I uploaded all the remastered like edition 3, edition 2
Mm-hmm.
on Untap. It looked pretty good.
All right, all
I find
right.
myself switching. I find myself switching to the new borders like when I just put the cards in. So
Oh yeah, Billy.
don't know.
Hey, I can't wait till we go back to that episode where we talked about it. And
Yeah.
oh yeah, don't worry.
Well, it's grown on me, okay?
I like
It's
it.
allowed
Yeah,
to grow on
I
me.
just
And
we
the,
just we just had to let it sink in. You just had to, you were still kind of too in the old camp, and you're like, oh yeah, but then you start seeing all the nice new commodities that's in these new camp of the new cars, and you're like, all right, I can fit in here. Get rid of that oblong freaking attack way too big thing, then we're set. I promise you that'll really.
Yeah, I still hate that thing.
I hate that, and the speed thing. I don't care what they say. They want to separate the speed. Just you didn't need to do that weird little drop down bar or whatever the hell that thing is.
Well, it doesn't matter. The cards look great. The new foils look great.
Oh,
I think
yeah.
it's a huge win. So.
Yeah, I think this will, like you said, the moment where Ward's like, all right, we got our theme now. Like this is where we go from here, and everything just kind of looks like this. I really like it a lot too. So yeah, no, like as you were just like wrapping up, I think that'll be the stuff going forward. Looking for Gen 3. I mean, again, I'm just gonna do the shout out. There are multiple places. Back in the beginning of the episode, you guys can go if you want to know where those locations are. But we ourselves are doing a live stream at Globe News. There's going to be a tournament there, again, catering, all those things. So, in Superior, Wisconsin, that's where we will be. Like I said, you will join us. There's going to be a giveaway. And obviously, there also is just a pack giveaway. So make sure you go back on to episode 50. Put Big Fur Coat in the comments in a fun, goofy way. Make fun of Marty. And with that, guys, that'll be the end of episode 53. We'll see you next week.
Oh.